All right, guys. So we were we are at part 4. Sorry, I had a confusing intro. But okay, so I've been nudged to do this part 4. I actually wanted to chill. I was going to give it like a week before I jump back into this in quote episode, right? Of this particular twin flame, divine contract, whatever the fuck we want to call it at this point. Because you will hear me say many times in those videos that how is deeper than just label, right? That labels anyway. So this part 4, keep in mind that I am not writing down anything, so I'm not trying to be I am, I think, mentally organized, but like this is not something that I started writing down, you know what I mean? I was just guided to do so, and somehow it's been working because I am going with my memory. so bear with me, okay? Work with me. I'm gonna try to remember the part 3. So I know we were talking about the divine masculine in the making. We were trying to establish the context, his upbringing, and the way things, and also how it's being perceived in his own community. So we talked about the fact that this is someone who's also very successful, and they gain a certain amount of a fame, reputation, a good reputation. Okay, this is a hardworking masculine as an energy. Okay, known, and this is something we were talking about. The fact that this is someone who really embodied the masculinity in the energy. I don't know if we talked about that in the last part, but this is what we're going to do in this part 4. We are going to add more context and more depth in the length of this divine masculine in the making, okay? Because it's very important that we all understand all the characters, and of course you can find also relatability. Is that a word? If it's not, I just made one. But you are going to find these characters relatable in some kind of way, you understand, because there's always a lesson. I apologize for the noise around me. I hope it's not going to disturb this video, but we're gonna move forward because this is it. I'm catching the flow. I hope you guys are going to catch it, okay? So to come back to this divine masculine in the making, this one who carries this same essence as this divine feminine in the making, also who's also working. Everybody's in their journey, okay? Everybody's in a different timeline, but somehow it's affecting everybody, and you will understand in the story that the divine feminine, it's really the way she moved forward and she keeps transcending it and accessing this depth of wisdom. She is also alternating her ties around her, the direct connections that she has or she's going to have, because this is an ongoing journey, right, until these two come together in the 3D. But everything is happening, like I said, in the 5D, right? In the spiritual realm. It's felt. The work is being done, though. Don't get it twisted. When I say it's happening in the 5D, I'm not talking about it's an illusion, nothing is happening. No, everything is happening. Like, it's spiritual before it's physical, right? I know you heard that before. So the work is being done. You're not seeing anything in the physical. There's other stories going on in the 3D, in the reality, like I said, other short soul contracts that she has to learn, lessons from. Also same for that divine masculine, and of course same for that the distorted masculine that we left in the background right now. Okay, we are jumping through different lens, and I think that the illustration of the videos, like the picture that I put on the thumbnail, I think it's very it's perfect. You understand? It's not people in the image, it's like the energy, at least the illustration of both those different energy. But you see the way it's positioned, it looks like glasses, lens, you know what I mean? And this is what we're gonna do throughout those different videos, those videos. It's jumping from lens to lens, and we also going to talk about those enemies that we're telling you about that work also in the 5D. They are aware of each other even though they're not physically in contact, but those enemies in the background, from that family members, platonic also, because it's the energy that they allow themselves to embody, which is the shadow, the end that represents so many things. But yeah, like we are going to jump also through their own lens. We're not going to make them too because it's really about those three people, this three character that I introduced, right? And how we started. But everyone is going to learn lessons, and we are going to jump into all those different lenses, definitely. But for now, I think, yeah, let's go back to this divine masculine in the making. And I wanted to talk about I think I said in the last video, I was talking about the Jezebel spirit. So it's not, see, it's not something that I googled before, but I go by my own natural understanding of that term, right? The how, at least how we speak about it among us, how we see it naturally. We see as an energy of temptress, and honestly, it is not gender specific. Jezebel spirit is a spirit, right? Is temptation, is the dark energy, right? The dark tantric energy, I will say. And let me tell you, you know what, I have my computer right now. I'm just going to google it, because this is my own understanding of what it means to me. So let's see what they say. Jezebel spirit here, I just want to, so this is something that they talk about in the Bible. Okay, so refers to a perceived demonic influence. Okay, I was kind of right. Or manipulative behavior often associated with women, seen as a force of control and destruction, drawing parallels to the biblical figure of Jezebel. Okay, so we're just gonna take that, right? So this is what I actually, this is exactly how I wanted to talk about it. Like, this is the spirit that seduce, tempt this divine masculine. And those contracts are necessary, okay? Because this divine masculine, like in the making, they embody this masculinity. There's nothing wrong about masculinity. Oh, I'm hoping this, oh, I feel like someone is gonna, there's construction just next door and it's gonna be horrible. I apologize, but I feel like I cannot stop this video right now. Let's go back. So this Jezebel spirit in this divine masculine story, she was the one who kind of trapped him into feeding the wrong side of their masculinity. We said that this man, this divine masculine, the making, take pride in taking care, providing materially. This is something that it's the way they love. And generally the masculine energy, their ability to provide for the people that they love is something that they pride of. Now when it is being feed in the wrong way, with more with lust, it will kind of birth some type of control attitude, because it's not out of confidence about what you have. It's like this divine masculine in the making, they work hard. They are so focused into this material because they are so scared. There's this lack mentality that they haven't even addressed yet, because this is someone, like I say, in the physical, they have money, they people come to them when they have problem, like they need advice, or some financial help. So this is someone who's very appreciated, but they are kind of used by the feminine mostly in their environment. This is someone who has sisters, cousins, who's taking care of a mother, and we are going to address how the feminine energy, the distorted feminine energy, has made the patriarchy in society today the problem. Because if you know your nature, if you know you identify as a divine feminine, and this is something that we all have to balance within ourselves anyway. But like I am talking about the woman who embody the feminine, who is supposed to embody the feminine energy, and their and her role in the consequences of an influence in the patriarchy right now. Do you understand? The energy of nurturance that we don't see in this man. They lead, they are masculine, and there's, like I said, there's no problem about masculinity. There's no problem about, you know what I mean? For me, at least, the way we see it as spiritual, this is not about that. It's how you channel this energy. The Jezebel spirit, she will taunt you, and she will feed your ego, and give you this perception of power, of, oh, this is masculinity, but it's not. The divine feminine, she will nurture your heart, your love. She will touch your heart, and by that, she will not suppress your authority. By this love, you will gain that confidence that make you exercise your masculinity, your authority, your leadership as a masculine energy, like in a proper way, in a fair way. We benefit from the men being balanced in their heart. It's not the love is not, and that's the idea today. This is what they're trying to promote more, that love and being, like they call it soft, right? But it is powerfully soft. It's soft. It's powerful because it's soft. You know what I mean? It's soft because it allowed that the power, the confidence to just lead within, themselves. It's being comfortable with who you are. It has nothing to do with acting like a woman. It's being in touch with your loving, your nurture part, right? And so the problem is that the Jezebel spirit, she feeds the ego, and so she feels that false sense of masculinity, of what is tough. So this divine masculine in the making, being fed by this Jezebel spirit, she is like, he knows because his essence knows, like, he's not where he's supposed to be. But they are surrounded by people who are in the same programming. And before this divine feminine is going to enter this life, this divine masculine life, like with this message, when she's going to alter, she's going to allow him to see how they were fed, how there was nothing wrong about the fact that they love providing, they love being a man, but they love being in control. It's just that because they were fed by the Jezebel spirit, who fed, like, more of that ego, sexual, like very distorted, toxic energy, their masculinity was not appreciated when needed, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not losing you guys. Because it makes so much sense in my head, and we're witnessing that every day. And basically what I'm trying to say is that the masculinity of this masculine, oh my god, the masculine energy of this divine masculine in the making is not the problem. Is who's feeding that. The food that this Jezebel spirit is giving to this masculine is not bearing any good fruit for him, and he's going to he's going to find out, as he moves in this journey, especially when this divine feminine is going to make herself known in his timeline. Okay. And because she's been in her side, she's learning to set in her divine feminine energy is not the problem too. On her side, in her lens, in her timeline, it's not the problem, it's who she gave it to. Do you understand? Like the difference of the lens between those two, and why it is extremely important for the universe and the divine, the God that is also orchestrating this, to make sure that both in their individual life, they find the balance, they tweak to the perfect frequency, they let go of the understanding that the way they love is not the problem. It's who is feeding this energy, who they surround themselves with, and who they give it to. It's the same type of people. They are the people who steal, siphon, or harvest, and they only benefit from you being ignorant of that, because you will never fully tap in to truly giving this love unconditionally and receiving the Christ-like consciousness. Basically, if you stick around with them, you know, their goal in everyone's story, even in the distorted masculine energy, even though he chose not to go through with this divine contract that they have with their feminine, you will understand there's more complexity in this story too. Because you can also ask yourself, if they chose, what would have happened with that other divine masculine in the making? Well, in this option, it's okay. Let's not go there. I want to stay focused in this one, okay? But we might entertain this reality in probably moving forward. We'll see. But yes, so this divine masculine, the divine feminine, her problem is not the way she loves, is who she give it to and who benefit from it in her direct, environment, even, it's subconsciously and consciously. You understand? Because even with their presence, they change the environment, they change everything around them, for people. So you have to understand those are people who are extremely anointed. Do you understand? And this union is very important because of the influence, blah blah blah. I said that before, right? But okay. I'm hoping I'm having all the people who started from the beginning, okay? I think you really have to you cannot just jump into this episode without, listening to the first one, right? But yeah, so we establishing more of this divine masculine, mindset and surrounding by addressing the Jezebel spirit that is feeding the wrong side of his masculinity, which in essence there's nothing wrong, but because they are being fed with lies and manipulation, this is going to create a lot of conflict in their own life. So this divine masculine doesn't have any, of course, obviously they never had any successful romantic relationships, and especially in this story, they created another soul contract with this Jezebel spirit. That this feminine, this distorted feminine, who knows like how this divine masculine carries something. This divine masculine in the making is supposed to have a very important role that will influence more people than just the community that they have right now. But because you have to understand that because of their surrounding and who they are connected with in this timeline, and the level of their consciousness, in this timeline, they're only getting the same level of success depending on who they have and where they stand like spiritually and mentally. You understand? They are trying to work to have more, but the problem is that you're not going to get more until you get rid of them. You are not going to get there. That's why certain people, and I'm talking about men in particular, men with this masculine energy, they have, and those who are single, they have gained a certain level of success, but this is where it stops. Like, they're not going to get even more, and they are going to have even more problem in this level because they haven't addressed their feminine side, they haven't balanced this nurturing, this receptive side. They haven't, and even when they did at a certain level, they never received it in the physical from another person. And this is the most important part. You will be whole, because some people, they're not meant to be with someone in the physical, but like I said, everything is in the 5D before in the physical, right? Some people and we're gonna add the theory of those who say that they are in a twin flame journey, but their twin flame is not in this reality. Do you understand? Like I said again, you have to come in my videos with an open mind and no limitation or rules. Whatever you think bring it, but also be open to understand other theories, because those are experiences that people are, they're going through this. This is what they're telling you, right? This is their perception of twin flame, soulmate, or whatever contracts. It's lessons anyway, right? But it's very important to be extremely open in this series in particular about this twin flame story, because they defied everything. Everything was defied in from left to right. So anyway, I hope I'm not lost in my reasoning. So what was I talking about? But yes, so the divine masculine is the way it received, and the connection. That I was talking about those the masculine who gain a certain amount of success, but there's something that they haven't unlocked there that's greater, but they don't have that divine feminine who done the work too, who balance her masculinity, knowing when it's time to lead. This is someone who's a leader, and I really need to bring that, because I feel like today, unfortunately, we see leadership as a man quality. Leadership is just an energy. The energy of leadership is something that we all embody. We all have to take action, to be in her masculine energy. Now, acting like a man, when you're a woman and you act like a man, that's a different thing. You understand? This is not even the same conversation here. We're talking about energy. So for me, there's a problem when we see leadership as something that is only men, and we see women who have businesses, who are ambitious as men. They're not trying to be men. Those who really understand how energy works in context, they know that when you enter a room or an atmosphere or somewhere, or you address certain people, you adjust to the context, to the situation. You understand? You don't need to stay on more than you need to. You don't need to you understand? It's like knowing what to be, when to be it at the right time. We understand that. So when you're a woman, and I can only speak for myself as a woman who was also an entrepreneur, who, I have a lot of ambition, and I have a lot of things that I want to do besides, what I mean, what I'm doing right now. But I'm aware that my leadership, I don't, as I lead myself and as I lead my life as an adult, responsible adult, I am in my masculine energy because I have to do things, you understand? And I do not have this masculine energy being embodying anybody, who can support. I'm not looking for help, but you can support, you can be there. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. And that's what I am, as a woman. And that's just an energy, right? I'm not being a man because I know what I want, and I know how to be responsible and how to be an adult, right? So I think this is something that we all, we need to understand and make the separate the energy and the gender, you know what I mean? Yes. Anyway, so it's very important to understand that this divine masculine in this story, because of the influence that they have, even though they work so hard, this is someone who work hard, you know what I mean, and they have a lot of integrity. That's why they are chosen. That's why this is the best for now, because free will is always a thing, but they are the best for each other. But the problem, not a problem, is that if these two get together before they are how am I going to say that, I had the word in French but I don't have it in English somehow. But anyway, if these two are not balanced, if they come together too early, this is going to be chaotic. And I mean it. I'm laughing, but this is nervous. It's not good. Not good at all. They carry the planetary, the chart, the way the oh my God, I'm stuttering because this is so much information. I apologize. Let me gather myself. The individual planetary position and the influence of those planets, because yes, people, everything, you have to acknowledge everything, because everything is everything. Those planetary position and influence when they were born, and the way they were raised, and the way they also process information, process emotion, everything is important. Everything is contributing to these two individuals be the best the best what the best connection, for each other. The impact that these two energy are going to make coming together, if they do it in the right way, is tremendous. The divine God has every interest to make this good, so they are going to stay separated as long as it's needed, because these two together in the wrong way, this is like this is death, this is weather changing. I'm talking about those have these have power, they have divine powers, okay. um so yeah, so now with this masculine, they, even though they work hard, they are surrounded with people who are not, they invested in people, they are sabotaging them, you know and even their mother, because we need to talk about, because I was trying to talk about how the feminine is the problem of what patriarchy is, because we don't have women who tapped in, who are balanced in their heart. Do you understand? We have very delusional feminine, okay. Those who are playing with this Jezebel spirit, who just sit there to tempt this divine man, because they want the man of the light, of course, because they want what comes with it, the money, the manifestation of their spirits in the physical is a lot of abundance, a lot of success, a lot of luxury, comfortability, right? This is what they seek, but they have to hide behind the mask of divinity, because that's the only way, that's the only thing that this divine masculine in the making is looking for. This is what these masculines are looking for. Those who are doing the work, they're looking for that, but they are going to go through a lot of those spirits, a lot of those contracts, because it's needed for them to recognize, so they can understand and choose willingly with their free will what is going to work for them. Like this masculine in the past, the distorted one chose. They wanted to dance with the devil. They wanted to fuck around with all this distorted, toxic feminine, who don't care about them, and they know that, but they like it because it's only fitting their ego. This is their choice, right? We are in this divine masculine in the making. They are only being misguided because they really believe these people for fast value. They thought that these people are my family. I grew up with them. I believe there's no reason for me not to believe them, until this divine feminine is going to make herself known and tell him she's going to write him, and we're going to get to that part when she is going to write him this message that is going to alter this divine masculine and making life. It's going to bring a lot of tower and shocking revelation about the people that they have around them, and especially what I wanted to just talk about just for a little short moment of time, this divine distorted feminine that is really in the mother. Let's start with the mother. Like we all have mother issue and dad issue in a certain extent, but the mother issue is the most, for me, the way I witness it and experience it, is the most important. This could mess up the whole shit, because she birthed humanity, right? And when her heart is not balanced, she birthing feminine and masculine distorted energy, because of who she is and how she perceives herself, how she loved herself, and how she put the boundaries in what she gives and what she receives. She birthed a nation of distorted humankind. Do you understand why the feminine is so important? And that's why her story was kind of erased, her importance in civilization. And I'm taking it there because, yes, I'm talking about energy, and when it's not channeled in the right way in human beings, it's making these people, us, making decisions and choices that are not good for us. But it's also good because we're learning from that, right? But we need, and I think I was talking about the Sophia, the the Jesus Christ counterpart that we don't talk about in the Bible or in religion, because they buried the importance of the feminine, the importance of balancing the feminine energy, the wisdom. Feminine energy represents wisdom. You know what I mean? And they buried this in this version because of whatever plan that they have, and we're not going to go there because I want to stay focused. But it started to have a problem, of course, in our life, because if the mother is not balanced and she seek what she's not supposed to seek, and she let herself be channeled by other entities, it's bringing a lot of problem, a lot of chaos, right? But yeah, so in this divine masculine story, their mother was perceived for them as someone that was always doing right by them. But what they don't know is that, and this is the plot twist, those plot twists that I was talking about, right? She also knows something, that she also know that her son, her child, is supposed to be in a divine relationship. They know the anointing of this child. They know. They always know, okay? These people, they always know what they're doing. They always know what they see in front of them. Do you understand? Never get it twisted. So, unfortunately, because of our own upbringing and the wisdom that she hasn't tapped in, she raised this man with she put so much responsibility in them and disguised them into something that they should be proud of, but the problem that the masculine should be proud of course, but in a very distorted way, meaning that they put responsibility in this man that isolated this person, even though people come to them and this person is deep down, they really isolated. No one really, they cannot express their emotion. Do you understand? They cannot express the emotion because they are not surrounded by women who have this frequency, the code of unconditional love, the essence. Only the divine feminine in the making who carries it in and making choices to tap more into it, to balance it consciously. That's why she keep letting people go. But the Jezebel spirit, those contracts, those platonic contracts, they are not in their heart. Do you understand? So I hope I really made sense in explaining this divine masculine, energy, where he is in this time now, how their surrounding really affects their perception of women, of the feminine. Do you understand? So that's why they keep making the wrong mistakes. But the difference between the distorted masculine, they're not staying, they're learning, and they're moving forward, but they're moving forward with a closed heart. Do you understand? And they are still they're holding on to this material. And I'm seeing in my mind eye the Four of Pentacles. Do you understand? It's like being very holding on to this material, right? Like this is only it's all they have. Do you understand? And those people around them, they're playing into that. They're playing into the importance for them because this is all they have. But deep down, in this isolation, when they're by themselves, this is a lover. That's why they are a perfect candidate. This is a lover boy. This is a lover girl. This is a lover energy. Do you understand? They all are. This feminine is a lover girl, is a lover boy, is a lover spirit. Do you understand? They are by love and they are looking for love. They are looking for home. But it's a journey. And in this journey, they are being challenged in their commitment of seeking this love. And of course, okay, I'm sorry about that. I need to pause just a little bit, but okay, I don't want to lose the conversation. But yeah, so they are deep down, oh my goodness, they are deep down lover people. They want love, but they are scared to, I mean, in this divine masculine, they don't express it because the way they've been raised. They're a man, they're taking care of the mother, they take care of siblings, they take care of everybody. They have so much responsibility, but they are not appreciated, they're not loved the way they want it deep down. And it's like they refuse they refuse to um they refuse to, in this timeline, uh address it, because everything around them is not making them address this. Really, everything is about suppressing it, right? That's why this divine feminine, when she's going to make herself known, is going to force this person who was already, kind of tormented within, when they are by themselves, like those failed relationship. Now they created another life with someone they're finding out to be a total traitor, a total you know what I mean? And they invested in this person, so there's physical, there's documents, there's businesses behind that, there's property behind that, which is adding even more complexity. But all of that is going to show how willing this divine masculine is to seek for their peace, to go home, because it's all about that, to go home. Because the other one, the other distorted masculine, no, they're outside. They're outside, okay? This divine feminine in the making, she's seeking for home. So she is mostly in her masculine, taking action, doing things. And we are going to talk about when she's going to present herself, why she's always the one who is okay, actually we are going to talk about it now. Why is this feminine always guided to be the one who has to make the first step towards those masculine? Because she is the foresight. She have dream sight. She is extremely connected. She is always ahead of her time. She spoke to different people in her time, when now after years people are now realizing that she was right. This is the type of energy. So it's a very challenging journey for her, because you just imagine knowing things before people. You understand? It's and when you every time you get information download, and you talk about it, you talk to certain people about it, they are not spiritual inclined, they look at you like you are crazy. So this divine feminine had to go through those experiences until she understood that don't say anything. You understand? And she is being trained to trust this intuition, because this is her power. This is something that she has no business doubting, because her position in the future in this relationship, when in the sorry, let me calm down, because there is so much information. Her role in this union is very important. She protects the masculine in the spiritual realm. She navigates the spiritual realm like she owns it. It belongs to her. I'm talking about a lot of skills like astral projection, the natural knowing of the occult. You understand? This is not someone who seek for books or anything. Everything she uncovered within herself first, and then she had confirmation after in books that she was guided to read. All of that was just a part of the universe to tell her, you see, you uncover what you're reading right now, but you uncover it before you were looking for it in books or outside of yourself. The goal of the divine, that her ancestors, is to make her remember that she knows. She is wisdom. You understand? She is divination. She is the oracle. And not having any doubts about it is going to be essential. Okay, and that's what I mean about being in her feminine energy, the intuitive, the psychic, all of it, the mysticism, do you understand? Everything that represents the moon energy. Okay, what is hidden, and that's what she is hidden from everybody. Everybody is some people are experiencing her, and they will look at her like she is nothing. She will be hidden in plain sight by the divine, because when it will be time for her to rise, these people will never deny what they witness in their own, with her. They will never, it will be undeniable. It's going to be the same for the divine masculine in the making. Everyone is going to be raised, or they're going to fall publicly, and it's going to be known for the divine to prove a point, for God's point, that's all. And in this story, this is a love story, a very challenging one, because everything is about love. It is a love story. It's always a love story. It's always about love, right? So why she's always the one guided to do so is because she knows before everybody. she just, I mean, she knows, and because they're not in the same space, and I mean physically, they're not in the same country, they're not in the same state, do you understand? Everything is happening in the 5D. She needs to make herself known in the 3D, even though everything is going to kind of like play out spiritually, and then the manifestation are going to come in the physical, right? And I mean by change of scenery, of people, you know. More you gain that peace of mind, you have let go of a lot of people in your life, right? You're in a different space. You are now following your purpose. You are in your north node, right? So at that time, the first time when she was guided to contact the first distorted now masculine, like I was saying, I think it was part 2. This literally broke her heart. It was like a slap in her ego face. It was a big ego death at that time, and it was necessary. It was also planned by the universe, right? But she couldn't understand why she was crying when she heard the God telling her, you need to send this distorted masculine a message. You need to make yourself known to this person. Her first reaction was to cry. She cried, and she felt in her heart the pain, the ego dying within her, because she was like, why she had to do that? You understand? So she got humbled, let's say that. But when she had to do it for the divine masculine in the making, it felt different. She was a little bit nervous, but she didn't do it right away like for the first one. She was tiptoeing in this communication first, because she was trying to understand the energy, and it was still very kind of unclear, right? And that's the whole purpose of this journey. They are going to awaken this love slowly together. But anyway, when she had to first initiate the contact, she was more like, she knew that not to expect anything. She learned from that first experience, let's say that. But it was not so much of ego. She didn't have any ego. She knew that she needed to be obedient, and that the truth will uncover. But it doesn't change the fact that she was curious sometimes, and she wanted to hear from this divine masculine. But on that side, there was the need not to be, there was the universe, the God, because they're also obedient, you know, to their Jesus, you know. They love them some Jesus. Okay, and we all do. But you know, it's being guided not to have a physical contact, because there's a lot of chaos. This contact, I'm telling you, this message is going to be and I think I'm gonna have to do another video, because I feel like I'm jumping too much into stuff, and I don't want to lose ourselves in this story, and I want to remember what I'm talking about for the next video. But I think this is important to understand that she is not a distorted masculine. She doesn't have a distorted masculine in her energy, and I'm talking about the divine feminine in the making, when she is the one initiating those first contacts. Yes, she's taking the action, the leadership, which look masculine, but this is not about that. It's mostly about the fact that she knows, she just knows before them. So there is a role needed, there's an action needed to trigger the divine masculine in the making, so they can start having all this tower moment and all this enlightenment to come. Do you understand? It is not about her ability to receive or to take action. It's in this particular order that is being given to her and agreed on before they all came. She needs to be the one initiated the contact because these two people individually are people that are known in their community. These are like stars. They are known. Do you understand? Those are celebrities. Those are people who are known worldwide. So it's easy for her because she is not known. She's living this basic life. And what you're going to find out in this plot story is that her energy, she is the star. She is the star energy. She is the one who, the bearer of knowledge, of wisdom. This is her. Okay. But her upbringing, she is not known. She's been hidden, like I said, in plain sight. That's why she is the one who's been told to contact this masculine, because they both have a certain level of fame, of fortune, of success. Do you understand why this is a particular story? Do you understand? And I really hope people tune in, because we will all find relatability in this, and I hope I am not butchering this word again, but yes, you will relate to this story. But the story itself is a very kind of fascinating story, because of the involvement. Who is involved in it. I'm not going to tell names because it doesn't matter, right? Just focus on the story and the lessons behind it. But yes, it's not about her ability, like I said, to receive and to do, to lead. She's not distorted in any way. She's just being obedient. She carries the oracle, the prophecy, and she has to take part of the prophecy. There's action that she has to take for that prophecy to come forward, right? So yes, at first it was hurting her ego, because there was an ego that's important that was needed to happen. But then for the second one, it was different. It was more like she was curious about how things was unfolding, still tiptoeing around it, still learning a lesson. So I think for the next video, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the message that she sent to that divine masculine energy, and how they interpreted that message, the masculine energy, how they received that message and what it activated within them, and how they're going to go about it. And also we are going to jump into the lens of the feminine, how she takes this whole thing, because there's a lot of things she doesn't know. She knows a lot, but she doesn't know a lot of things too. You understand? And it's important also because this is her story. Even when you're a psychic and you're medium, whatever you call yourself, you also have to be surprised about your own story. You're experiencing it. So surprise, you deserve to have to receive surprise and gift. Even though you manifested it, it doesn't matter. When you receive it, it's always like, I was heard by God heard me, my ancestors, they were here. It's always a confirmation and a comfortable, it's a comfortable thing that you want to receive. You understand, you experiencing this story. So we're gonna talk about how, also all the things that she doesn't know about this masculine energy. And I'm telling you, it's different, because even in her dreams, there's not a lot of talking with this masculine. But they also meet in the 5D, like I was saying in the last part. They also meet to have sex. There's a tantric energy that is recharging for them. You understand? Because there's a very potent sexual energy between those two. Okay, and it's not lust, guys. It's love. It's definitely love. And that's the difference between what I was saying about this Jezebel spirit who only pouring lust into that masculine energy, who's supposed to receive the love, and they are going to reject it. It's going to be, they are going to reject this energy because it's not familiar. It's too far away from home. But yeah, so in the next video we will see how her existence is going to influence him and her, because it's going to be hard on her too. This love is going to grow in a very particular way, but oh my God, the heart chakra is going to to work. And you know what, in tandem with that sacral chakra, because like I said, the sexual energy between these two is crazy. And this is what is going to like um trigger this masculine, because it's like, man, she's not even here. I'm not physically in touch with 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 her, but every time I think about her, like they feel it in the circle, and same for her, and somehow it's connected to the heart. And then he activated all the other chakra, because this is the right frequency. The Jezebel spirit could never trigger that into this divine masculine. And they are going to see how they're going to soften, how this divine feminine has a way without being there, without, because they're not in contact. When she's going to contact this person once or twice, and I will tell you about those messages, this is it. She's not going to do it, because now she has to commit to the understanding of what her feminine energy carries. So she's gonna have to stand her ground in her feminine energy. She only taking action only in her masculine energy when it's about paying her fucking bills. When it's about, building those businesses, those things, because she has to take care of herself. She's not waiting. And this is the most challenging thing that people are going to learn in those twin flame journey, is that you're not supposed to wait for it. No fucking body. And this is what is heartbreaking for people, because they glamorize this concept so much that they think that they have to wait for this person to heal. Baby, you waiting, you not healing, and it's not healing. The person is not healing too. To trigger the healing, you have to leave. You have to focus on self. That's why there's so much controversy in this label, in those. You understand, because people they don't allow themselves to see, to go outside of the box. And that's why I was saying in my point, think outside of the box. You have to. And I'm going to always bring back all this element that I already described. You will see in the video, in the thumbnail, those points that I'm continuously going to bring about in all those videos. The fact that it is deeper than a label, that the antagonist, the protagonist, and the antagonist is we all have this role, eventually, because it's all about perspective and how you are being seen in different lens, and how you see it in your own lens. And then those broken bonds, how those bonds that those connections that you are making in your journey, short or long term, those already come broken, because there's something that you have to acknowledge that is already broken within you. You entertain what you are. Do you understand? You will have many choices in your life, but who you choose to entertain, to focus on, is what you are. Do you understand? So that's why the mind is extremely important in here. And when I talk about also that to think outside of the box, you have to come with all those prejudgment, but also be open to listen to other prejudgment and other perspectives. It will help your own journey. That's how you outgrown at some point. That's why us spiritualists, we all started being like religion. We identify to a religion in particular, Christianity, Islam, or you understand, we identify ourselves in religion. We started like that, most of us, but then we let ourselves outgrow those beliefs. Not to say that is wrong, but we added more, because we let go of limitation and boundaries. This is what, for me, is fascinating about life, about the journey in general. So that's why I'm kind of like, I guess it's a clickbait when I put twin flame, but I put in quote, because people are so focused in it. But you're gonna have to be brave enough to really, and guided to really click in those videos, and to understand that how, like, the way it's going to uncover is really beyond, beyond that, right? But yeah, so I think I cover everything that I wanted to cover, and even more. I want to make sure that I remember what I said here. So for the next video, I know that we are going to jump into this direct communication, because I think I've been I've been putting the trailers, for like since the part 2, I think. But yeah, we need to get into this for sure, for sure. And it's going to be extremely interesting how we're gonna jump into different lens, and oof, I'm telling you, the way the divine communicate to the divine feminine in the making and the divine masculine in the making is crazy. And how her taking back her power is bringing tower moment, is bringing justice to people who manipulated her in her own family, and also for the divine masculine. But we are going to focus on her because there's a lot of like craziness happening in her life, a lot of spiritual manipulation from family members, from ex-lovers, and also how she navigates her dream, how she understands more her abilities. Do you understand? Because sometimes we see, we consider as dreams, but you will also find out that they are not dreams. They are also parallel realities that you are simultaneously living. And, and I'm telling you, it's interesting. It's interesting. And I think I'm gonna leave it here. I covered a lot of things, and you know me. The next video we will resume a lot of things and go back to certain points and go in details into it. In details, yeah, just to make sure that we are all good. Okay, good to go. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, and I have been called to do some signs readings, which I'm not looking forward to because it is so, I mean, it's exhausting to do 12 signs, but I'm being called to, and we'll see if I'm going to be obedient. But I've been called to do signs for those who like, signs readings. But yeah, but this series will continue. This Twin Flame Chronicle will continue definitely. All right, see you guys in the next one.